welcome to the Swirl Suite, guys. Thanks for joining us. Wow, okay, so happy Tuesday. We have an exciting show for you today. We are going to be talking about how video is influencing wine. Video influence in wine. We have a special guest, but before we get started, let's do some introductions. I'm Sarita, and you can find me at Buy Me Up, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Instagram, pretty much everywhere. Tanisha?
Hey, what's up? I'm Tanisha, Girl Meets Glass, and you can find me everywhere as Girl Meets Glass, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Periscope, Snapchat, everywhere stuff exists. I'm there. Look me up.
Leslie?
Hi, I'm Leslie with Vino 301. You can't find me everywhere.
Where can people find you?
On Twitter, Instagram, under Vino 301, and Facebook. Oh, and Pinterest.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I like it. I love Pinterest.
And Glennis is with us. We can't see her, but she is with us. We can hear her just fine. Glennis?
Glennis in the house.
Good
Talk to us.
evening, everyone. Glennis Vino Noir. Glad to be here with you, unvirtually, I guess. Yeah. Technology isn't my best friend, so no, you can't find me anywhere, as Leslie said. Just Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Hello.
All right, all right. This is going to be pretty loose today, but almost every app, social media-wise, has incorporated some form of video function, whether you can do short snippets or a GIF or, long videos. So I wanted to ask you guys, do you use any apps right now that you use with the videos? You produce any videos?
So I would say no.
Okay.
I am, to be honest, a little afraid.
Why?
So I just have to get...
Why is Quiet Storm voice afraid?
Well, so let me say this. I have created little videos about our tours and everything like that. But, doing a Vine video, what have you, quite honestly, it's not my default to do that.
Okay.
So I just, I had to do a mind shift, and do video, which is great for my industry because people want to see the experience. So it's the fear factor, and it's not my initial default.
I honestly think Snapchat would be kind of cool for you, Leslie, because you would just be able to show like quick snippets of like what you're doing, the tours, like a quick snap of somebody like maybe pulling some wine out of the barrel, and then maybe another snap of the people on the bus, another snap of people in the vines. I think Snapchat will work really well for you and what you're doing with your wine tours. I think that's the one for you. Vine, not so much now as far as what it's become. But I think Snapchat would be really good for you, just catching a snapshot of your tour, a part of your day, a part of your life.
Now, Leslie, when you do create your videos for your tours, what do you use?
That's a good question. I use Animoto.
Ah, yes. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
I use that to.
And then do you push it out through Twitter?
I do. Well, and the nice thing is that I can push it out on all platforms.
Oh no, what is it called? I don't know this one.
This is it Animoto? Yeah.
Animoto?
Yeah, and it's a free video site where you can take your pictures, and you upload the pictures and the music, and then they will put everything together and send it to you in a couple of minutes. And the nice thing about it is, if you don't like it, then send it back to them and say, start again.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the one you used to use, Sarita. Was it
like
Flipagram?
Like Magisto?
Yes, thank you. I couldn't
okay.
think of the one you. It's like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so those are cool because you can do like a quick video of pictures that you've taken or whatever. But I think people will really like to see Leslie on Snapchat and follow her tours because just to get a live snapshot of what she's doing. I think that would be like I'd be interested to watch that because I'd be watching nonsense on Snapchat. But if I got to see somebody in some vines or drinking some wine and with a group having fun, I think that would be that would be kind of
we
dope.
can see you.
I know. I went to my iPhone.
Hey, Glennis, welcome.
Oh. So, Glennis, do you use any apps or anything for videos or any programs or anything?
Well, I've just started. I got my account set up with Periscope, so I want to start using more Periscope. So it took a minute because it was interesting because Periscope wouldn't let me change the login name. I thought you needed an actual login name, so I put my GM Hill instead of Vino Noir. So when it came up, people didn't know who it was. And so I sent information back to Periscope, and they said, "Well, we don't have that function to change names yet." I said, "Excuse me, why can't you just hit the delete button?"
Right.
It took about 3 weeks for me to be able to do that. So now I'm on Periscope, so I can use Periscope and this platform itself as a video function. So these are the only two that I'm in or using. The Snapchat, I think I.
Oh, she froze. Oh. So Tanisha, you seem
what that happens when you use your cell phone. There's a call coming through.
Right. Or she was faking because she didn't want to talk no more. She was like,
no.
I was like, if she froze it, she was like,
to be honest, video isn't really one of my areas. I particularly like taking pictures, so this is not really one of my areas. So yeah.
Now, Tanisha, you started videos way early on. Like when I first met you, you were doing videos. What has changed since then? Because you don't do as many anymore.
So, I need to get my life together.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean to call you out. I thought it was something special.
Girl, it's fine. No. For me, I felt like I couldn't come up with enough ideas and didn't know what to do. So that's what made me start videos. Because when you met me, God, that was a while ago, and so like I just ran out of things to do. I'm like, okay, what else am I gonna talk about? Now I have like tons of content, so I'm like, okay, fine, I could do video again. Whether it be Periscope, Snapchat, quick Instagram videos, YouTube, whatever.
Right.
But whenever you're thinking about video, you kind of want to think long term. And think like, maybe come up with like what you're trying to get across and not just like, oh, okay, I just want to get on and be like, hey, what's up? What y'all doing?
Right. So just the list of all of the apps that are pretty known right now that you can use for videos. YouTube, of course, number one. I don't know if anybody still uses Vine. I never got into it. And Tanisha used to use Vimeo. I don't know if people still use that.
I still use Vimeo.
You still use that? Yeah. Instagram, you can do small, short videos with Instagram. Facebook goes live now. You can do live videos on Facebook. Google Plus, of course, you could do all sorts of things with Google Plus. Like you can do a hangout like this by yourself and post that.
Et voila.
Periscope. And Periscope is associated with Twitter, so they're like family. So as soon as your Periscope videos are done, it goes straight to Twitter. And with Periscope, you can make your videos as short or as long as you want. The thing is, you can only record from your cell phone. Only from your cell phone. Snapchat, you can do a little short. I forgot how long do they give you? Like some seconds? Is it like 30 seconds or 20 seconds? It's seconds. Yeah, they give you seconds.
Yeah, it's seconds.
Yeah.
Snapchat, I'm sorry to interrupt. Is Snapchat the one that is only there for a couple of days and then it goes away?
Yeah.
Was it 24 hours?
Yep.
Yeah, 24 hours. Magisto that's when you record with your device or your computer and you combine pictures, with the video, and you can add your own music, you can add their music. The only thing is you can't control when and where video ends or photo begins, so you have absolutely no control over it. When it's nice, it comes out real nice, but you know, say if you're doing like a segment about wine and you're talking about a specific grape, they'll cut you straight off through the middle and add the pictures when they want to, and then you look dumb. So
yeah,
that's
like what I want to say is clip.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what it will do. And so Wine Antics, Jim Nelson has got me on Blab, and I've been doing Blabs. Blab is similar to what we're on now. The Hangout, but you can only have 4 people on at a time, but it has a lot more functionality. There can be like a feed on the side where you can see people's comments and answer questions and that sort of thing. You can download the video and the sound. It sends you an email when you're done that your video is ready and your video in sound is ready. But the thing is, when your video downloads, it doesn't show the comments on the side, because if I'm doing a Blab by myself and I've got 5 people watching, tuning in, and they're on the feed on the side asking questions, and I'm going back and forth with them, the person who is watching me after I download the video can't see that. Am I making sense? Am I talking too much? Am I making sense?
Well, like you're talking to yourself?
Exactly, yeah. So it's pros and cons for all of these apps, but there are a lot of options right now. There are a lot of options. So
I think it all depends on what you want to do. I think when a lot of these things first came out, it was like a free-for-all, just like use it and see what happens. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of these different options have kind of like maybe gone into certain niches. Like if you think about Vine, that's now mostly like for comedians or for people maybe doing like music. Because with Vine is what, 7 seconds?
7 seconds, yeah.
So like you're not getting a whole lot across in 7 seconds. And it's not like you can put it all together. Like Snapchat, if you do all these 15, 20-second videos, you can put it all together. So it will seem like one semi-fluid conversation, but Vine is like, okay, you put a video out, you literally have 7 seconds, so you need to do it in that amount of time. So that turned into a place for like comedians and maybe like a little bit of music. Snapchat is like for everybody. Periscope seems to me, based on people that tag me and stuff and what I kind of see come up on my timeline, is like people who are like motivational or trying to sell you something or tell you how to use Periscope. Yeah. Which, whatever, I won't get into that now. That's, tweet me, I'll tell you all about it. But, that's that. YouTube, okay, that's everybody. From us doing our hangouts to if you want to watch cats jump in the swimming pool and play with yarn. Like that, like it's just, you can just see everything on YouTube. So I think it's a matter of finding the platform where you think you fit in and not always just jumping on the newest thing just because it comes out. Yeah.
Like I know that someone has suggested to me that we move the small speak to Blab. First of all, we're not doing that because Blab is way too new. It's way new. Like I'll do the videos by myself to see what kinks need to be worked out and that sort of thing. But also, you can only get 4 people at a time. It's already 4. Well, it's 5 of us, so we all can't be on at the same time. So it makes no sense. But anyway,
so what is your favorite?
That's
Let's see with the tough question.
That's hard.
I'll go first because I'll actually say this might be my favorite because it's more interactive. You can have other people on with you. People can dial in. You can have up to 10 people on a hangout. Yeah. And then also it records to YouTube and you can see it later. Most of the other platforms don't have a check you later, record to another place. Yeah. Kind of thing. The other ones may just record to whatever, like if you do Snapchat or Periscope, that may record to your phone if you're recording on your
Right.
phone.
Yeah.
Well, no, you have to record on your phone, duh.
Yeah.
So it will save it in your phone gallery until, you go to take a picture and it's like, oh, you have too much space, delete something.
Mhm.
But, that kind of thing. So I think this is, you have the most amount of space.
Yeah.
It records to YouTube. If you want to edit this video, like while we are live now, you can edit the replay and, add in some titles and,
Yeah.
put in different things. You can do that.
Yeah.
So,
Um.
like this.
Yeah. My favorite is probably gonna be. It's just regular YouTube, honestly. Because you can do so much with it. You can not only shoot your video, but then you can just edit it right then when you're done with it. It's like all in one. Like they figured it out. YouTube has figured it out. They have definitely figured it out. Snapchat is probably my least favorite. Because I just don't find it user friendly. I still don't find it user friendly. I really don't.
It's not.
But and if I say it's not user friendly, but no.
But the thing is, once you get Snapchat, you're
Yeah.
like, okay, wait,
Yeah,
I'm
I get it.
slightly addicted. I'm
Yeah.
slightly addicted. But
Yeah.
until you get it, you're like, wait, what is this about? Why am
Yeah.
I using this? What is the purpose?
Mhm. Yeah.
But I also, and then this might sound shady, but I don't mean it in a shady way. Like with all these apps that are coming out as far as video, I think like all of this is slightly overestimating how much we're concerned with other people's lives. Because it's just like sometimes you want like what people are doing, but then you don't want to know like, oh, so you had breakfast today? Okay, well,
Yeah.
I assumed you would have breakfast because that's what people do. I think some people, not some. I think a lot of it, with it being so many ways for you to like live stream and take pictures and do like quick video clips. I think with it being so much out there, there are so many people that want to use it all the time and for everything, every purpose. And I don't necessarily know if you need to. Like, you need to know, oh, look, I just woke up. Good morning.
Some people are like that. Some people are like that with pictures. But now you have this easy video option and everything. So it's pictures. It's, short videos of every moment of their life. Yeah, I definitely get it.
Yeah. I'm making coffee.
My next question was, are there any videos that you watch religiously?
No.
Is there anyone? Mm-hmm.
I watch, and actually I subscribe to YouTube channel, She Takes on the World.
Okay.
Oh.
And she has, she has a weekly newsletter. And it is, which I think this is the one thing about videos, is that everybody now believes that they are these empowerment wizards.
Oh my God. Talk to them, Leslie. Please. Yes.
Their house isn't too great, but they're going to tell you how to overcome what you're doing. But she actually is a empowerment person for entrepreneurs, specifically women, to help you set up goals or what have you. And so she has a series of chats, but then in addition to that, she has these weekly 4-minute videos, which are great to watch, because I think that's the other thing about watching videos on a regular basis. You can take it in little snippets.
Mm-hmm.
Like watching an hour-long video is not really conducive for my time, my use of time, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And just like any subscription, I get an email. Instead of her newsletter, her email is her video.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Tanisha, anybody in particular that you like to watch?
So I have a major girl crush on Whitney A. And every video she comes out with, I'm like obsessed with it, and I like watch it. So, um, yeah, everything Whitney A does is slightly golden and lemonade and all of that. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, and she's also she's a sommelier in California, and she has I think her website is whitneya.com, and her videos are about wine and just different things with wine. So she might just go and buy like a whole bunch of different wines based on like a certain topic or a certain
Mhm.
grape or region or something like that. She did a
And
video
just
on
to be clear,
fried
is
chicken and
Whitney
wine.
A. Whitney Adams?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the one. Yes.
Okay.
That video she did with the chicken and the wine. I mean, just yeah. And then she did one with a tipsy bartender where she was tasting all kind of she was tasting like Boone's Farm and like blue wine and all kind of like cheap wine but she was blind tasting it, and so she was just giving her opinion on it just by the taste. So yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. So, I watched several. I watched several. Of course, I watched Gary Vaynerchuk. That was my first, like, that was the first person I watched religiously on YouTube, while he was doing Wine Library TV. And,
Hmm.
I would sit in the library and I would watch his videos because, of course, he was doing videos way before I knew who he was. So I would watch his videos every day at like 12 o'clock. So I still watch him. He doesn't talk about wine as much, but you can still learn a lot from him. So I watch him for a long time while they were active. I watched the Stepsisters. That was the show that Tanisha was on. And I learned a lot about blogging, and yeah, they acted a fool. They acted a fool, like monthly. Like I think they didn't do y'all didn't do every week. It was like every other week or something like that.
I think
Oh
it's like
my
every other
god!
week. Yeah, but then
And
like we moved places and
yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
man. But you talking about just cracking up the whole time, and yeah. So I learned a lot from that show, and that's where I got this idea to do the hangout. But just make it about wine or whatever. Um, let's see. I watched this other show on YouTube called Ask a Winemaker, and he's a German winemaker, and he just talks about German grapes and stuff like that. And there's one called Kava TV. Of course, I'm watching that one.
Clearly.
Yeah. And then the last one, she's the name of her company is Inspiralized. And have y'all ever seen me like make vegetables into spirals and they kind of look like noodles?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a little spiral
yesterday.
maker. Yeah, well, she's created a whole cookbook and all these recipes about spiral vegetables, and it's
Oh
vegetables
wow.
and sweet potatoes and cucumbers, and she does almost any vegetable in a spiral form. So I follow her. She's pretty cool. But I like watching Maya. Maya is crazy. She is crazy. I like watching her periscopes.
Low key, she is nuts. Oh my god, I love
Yeah,
her to
she
death.
is crazy. Yeah, I think that's about it. But yeah. Have you
What I
guys?
find oh
Oh no, go ahead.
Glennis.
I was about to say what I find interesting is when you mentioned Gary V. Like he is like the only person that seems to have crossed over from being like a wine person and into just mainstream. Like if you talk to anybody and say like, "Oh yeah, I'm into wine and I do wine videos," they're like, "Oh, well, do you know Gary V or have you heard of Gary Vaynerchuk?"
Mhm.
Once he left that space, it's interesting to me that there was nobody like behind him or like kind of waiting in the wings and stepped into that space. There isn't anybody else that you can think of that has really stepped into that space that you kind of hear about across the board or just know of as it relates to wine that people can relate to, whether they be a wine professional in the trade or just a regular layperson that works at the post office. Like there isn't. and there isn't anybody who has kind of stepped into that space. So it seems like there's like a big hole in the industry as far as how people are getting just basic wine information. Wine Folly does fantastic stuff, and I follow her. She doesn't do video, but her graphics are like fantastic.
Yeah.
But she doesn't, do video. So
she started doing some video, not a lot, but she started doing some.
Okay. Who is this? Block.
Hello. Who? Hello.
Block.
Our special guest has made it.
Man.
You know my block finger is strong. Who is? It's happened before.
Jason Stubblefield, everybody.
Bam. Finally.
Hey.
I am very...
Hey, welcome.
I am so sorry.
Well, you're here now. You're here now. That's all that matters.
I am. No, thank you so much. Hello.
Okay, so real talk. I was actually gonna block you because I didn't know I didn't know your real name till just now. So, we're gonna. Yeah, that's.
So, Jason, please tell everyone who you are and what you do, and why you do it.
Well, I put Stubb at the end of my name on my Google profile so people would know that.
Gotcha.
Okay, that should have helped me, but I don't read, so there's that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hold on. I have y'all.
All about that wrong, no peanut.
There you go.
All about that wrong, no peanut. All about that wrong, no peanut.
All right, someone's currently humming. I had you open in two windows, so I was getting a lag here.
Gotcha.
All right, now, no, I'm very sorry. I clicked the link and it wouldn't let me get in, and I'm like, I'm not this dumb, but apparently I was.
No.
So here we are. I'm Stubb. I do CorkEnvy.com and CorkEnvyMedia.com. I started out as a wine blogger and now do still blogging, sort of, and doing promotional content videos for the wine industry.
Now, a question, no. So how did you get into wine, and how did you get into wine and videos with your music and everything?
So wine was sort of easy. I was never really a wine guy. I didn't grow up with parents that drank wine or do anything. But as the wife and I, once we got out of the Marine Corps and we kind of advanced and started going to fancier places and having dinner parties with guests, people would bring wine and we would order wine. And I kind of got into wine that way and found a wine that I loved and got into it. 4 or 5 years after that, I started the wine blog because I was serious about it. And about 1.5 years after that, I started doing video because I thought it was more engaging for the blog. Like, very organic process for me.
Gotcha. And so, when you started doing your videos, did you already have experience in like video production and stuff? Did you use certain apps?
I did not have specific experience. I just I always played in bands, and I've always been a TV movie junkie, so I knew more than people who didn't produce stuff knew. But I never had hands-on until I started just buying random cameras and getting different video editors and trying to do my own thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So if I'm a winery and I come to you and say, I want to do a video, what do you tell them? What kind of questions do you ask them?
The first question I ask is, if your winery were a song or a band, what would it be?
Huh.
And what does people say? I'm curious about the response.
Interesting. Yeah.
The responses are people are very surprised by that. Because a lot of wineries, especially smaller wineries, their response is they want the standard kind of, from our family to yours, we want to make the best wine ever. With the whole family and the cat and the dog and the kids on the tasting table and the whole nine.
I'm not drinking, and I'm not drinking that.
Exactly. Well, you may drink it, but you're not going to watch the video about it. Like,
I'm not. No, that video's not going to make me drink it. Yeah.
I think every winery has a story, and that story is unique to them. I mean, there are some similarities between wineries, but I think for video, for engagement about that, and getting people to come in and for the video engagement online, at least, you need to show the personality of your winery. And if that is, we allowed kids, dogs, we have a big kind of family party every weekend, let's show that on your video. Let's not do some staid thing saying we want to make the best wine possible. Like every winery wants to make the best wine possible.
Yeah.
And every winery can't, let's be honest. I mean, whether it's location or grape types or whatever. So my goal is to capture the personality of the winery.
Interesting. So what video like apps or anything do you use? I know you've been on Blab with Wine Antics. Do you use any other apps like Snapchat or Periscope or anything like that?
So I'm on Periscope and watch Periscope. I have not actually ever done a Periscope. I have a Snapchat account. Have also not used that at all.
Okay.
Some of that may be age though, because I'm like,
That's the truth.
The live part of it scares me a little bit for wine brands. For my personal brand, it doesn't a lot because I think I engage enough and get people on board with my personality enough to know if I say something a little off color or whatever, they're okay with it and they realize I'm not serious. But for wine brands, it scares me. I will say with the Wine Antics doing the Blab, like I am pleasantly surprised with how much I'm enjoying doing that. And
Nice.
how well received it is and the interaction. I really enjoy it a lot, actually.
Absolutely. So I already asked these girls.
Okay.
Is there anybody specifically that you watch? Do you subscribe to any YouTube channels, or do you watch anybody specifically on Periscope?
I have to be honest, I don't. And part of that for me, I will say, all right, now let me say that I am obviously familiar with Swirl Suite. But
Right, that should have been your first answer.
Right, I understand. As soon as I said that, I heard it gasp, but I'm like, ugh. You're reminding me of my cousin back home in East Texas. She's like, if I take off my shoes and earrings, get out of the way. It's about to go down. No, I actually, in a weird way, and when I started blogging, I would read some blogs here and there, but I kind of made a point to not do a lot of that because I didn't want to be, basically the same thing as everyone else with a different face and voice.
Okay.
So I watch things, but I don't watch things regularly.
Okay.
And that's just in an effort to not kind of be a copycat.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Tanisha was talking earlier we were talking about her videos and how she had slowed down on doing videos because of content, and now she has more content. How do you come up with your content?
So obviously, if you go to my website, you're going to see I haven't actually produced content in a while. I've been working on some projects, but most of the content I come up with, I like to do the lighter side of wine. I like to say I can be serious about wine without taking myself too seriously. So, I mean, my content is all about comedy and engagement, and I don't know 100% that the things that I do appeal necessarily to the biggest wine geeks in the world. Some of it does because there's some inside jokes, but there's always funny, whether it be, I mean, look, me in drag, and if I go in drag, I don't shave my beard. I'm just in drag with a beard.
Wow.
And I've done that a few times. It's more about the comedy and engagement for me because I want to bring more people into wine because wine is something that people are afraid of.
Gotcha.
And why do you think that is? Like, why do you think people have this whole issue with wine?
I think because
And how do you think you help them?
I think because most people think of wine and serious wine drinkers as being uber wealthy, number one. Number two, as being 70-plus-year-old, gray-bearded, white British guys that have a name like Rothschild. Like, it's just a scary thing. I think most people think of wine because there's so much of it. And wine, if you go into a wine shop or even at the grocery store, like, what's the difference between a $6 bottle and the $36 bottle on the top shelf at a grocery? And if you go in a wine shop, like, people are afraid of that because they don't have the experience with it. And they don't know it, and a lot of it's price, but a lot of it's also just ignorance. Like, people don't know about it. They're like, wine to them is the Mad Dog they had in high school with buddies when they went to the river bottoms,
Shout out to 2020.
or the Boone's Farm. Like, that's what a lot of people's experience is. So they're like, all right, great, I love Bud Light, so I can go to craft beer and not be scared of it because it costs $1 more for a pint than Bud Light does.
Huh.
But when you're talking about wine and the different wines, like, to most people, a beer is a beer. I like this beer. It's a dark beer. It's a light beer. But wine, there's red wine, white wine. There's a lot more to it. And people get afraid of that because they think of these, like I said, these old super stuffy white dudes in tuxedos, that have $1.5 billion serving them wine. And no one identifies with that.
So, Stud, how do you
Yes.
think that your videos and the things that you do help to combat that, help to make people feel more comfortable, and whether they email you questions or just help them to understand more about wine from watching your videos? How do you think you help with that?
Personally, and I hope I'm right about this, and I've received comments that kind of tell me this is true. People are like, wow, wine doesn't seem as stuffy. I mean, my first kind of big music parody video I did was White Zen, where I was in drag talking about cougar juice and White Zen to the tune of Police's Roxanne. And I've written an original song called Spit or Swallow, kind of a 90s R&B jam, where I'm wearing the, super long kind of Steve Harvey oversized suit, singing this cheesy R&B song with a cheesy video to go along with it, with a girl that's, barely dressed and crawling across the floor to grab a glass of wine. It's, and I say, no, it's funny, but I like the comedy of it.
Listen, your marriage is still standing, so you good. You don't have to explain it to us.
Yeah, no, I say that though.
You good.
I say that in a sense that what I think that I bring a little levity to wine, to a subject that people are a little afraid of, and I bring them in. And I'm not afraid to say, hey, this tastes like the blue raspberry Kool-Aid we had as kids. Or watermelon Jolly Rancher. You've got to bring people into things that they know and realize.
God, those are so good.
And when I talk about, yeah, they are, right? But also when I talk
I just
about...
had a moment, I'm sorry.
But when I talk about, the herbal qualities, I'm like, remember when you were a kid and you broke a tree branch off a tree in the spring and you tasted that kind of green quality? You've got to explain things like that to people. And not all my videos do that, but I think my videos, for the most part, show a levity and a different side. Once again, you take wine seriously, you don't have to take yourself seriously. If I go to a carpenter, I know how to nail two boards together, but I'm not going to build a house because I don't have that knowledge. And I try to explain that to people. There's just a different expertise based on what I'm interested in and what I'm good at, or feel like I'm good at, which I may or may not be. I don't know.
Oh, please. Please. You are.
Right. So, Stud, I'm sorry. I literally still call you Stud.
That's all right.
After that one incident. Anyway. You started doing your videos because you wanted people to feel more comfortable with wine and you wanted to get them more into it. What are some... Do you come up with your ideas because people send you questions or things that you hear people talk about? How do you come up with your ideas for your next video?
It sort of depends. I get some questions here and there, or I've had a few people send me things saying, hey, you should do a song parody of this. And I'm like, well, so when I do a song parody video, which I think are my most popular videos, and there's not as many as there should be, but they take a lot of time. I do my own tracking for those. I do my own vocals for them, and I write the lyrics and then shoot the video. So I've had suggestions for that. So a lot of the questions I answer, though, are more directly, but some of the ideas, it's just, a tune will hit me, or an idea will hit me, or I listen to Pandora and I listen to the pop stations and what's popular right now, and try to come up with something. Or I think of an older song that's super popular that even the younger wine consumers will know, and just try to come up with something that I think is kind of funny and shoot it. And some are good and some are less good.
Do you do wine shops as well, or do you just do wineries?
I will do anything, actually. I've talked to some wine shops. It's a little harder for them. I say harder. I don't know. They see a little bit less of a value in that because they have a regular email group and a regular clientele. And obviously they want to bring more people in. But yeah, it's all light for me. Now, there are some also, and I will be honest, I've lost some potential business because people see me as a little more irreverent than they think they want. But if you talk to me, as I've talked to all of you one-on-one, like, or 3 of the 4 of you one-on-one, so you know me a bit. Like, yes, I'm a little flippant, but there's also a serious side to me. If you talk to me for long enough, you get the idea that I know wine. You get the idea that I'm a real person, and that, you know, not everything is some kind of pseudo-sexy or pseudo-silly thing that I do. But for me, that kind of works in my personality. So that's, for my personal brand, that's what I do.
Right.
But, you know, so the wine I'm drinking now is Franny Beck. 2014 Pinot Noir. It's the winemaker owner is one of my best friends, and I did videos for him. And he's like, you know, here's us talking, whatever. So for him, instead of doing like a 3-minute, like, here's my winery and here's my thing, we did 6 words for him that meant the most to him to his winery. So we did 60-second or less videos for each of those words, with him and his wife sitting at a table, and some cutaways, and me spending 2 harvest times out there with him as I could, shooting extra video. And then I had him tell the story of how he got into wine. So it really depends on the brand and how they want to go. I think I'm a little pigeonholed for comedy and a little irreverence, which I'm okay with. And if I'm fine personally. If you want to hire me and you don't feel comfortable with me, then we're not a good fit. If I can make you feel comfortable, then we're a good fit. But otherwise, I don't know. I like to bring the lighter side, though, and try to bring people in, because I know wine. When I first started wine, I was scared to death of wine.
Yeah.
One of my most
scary. It's scary.
It is. Well, one of my most popular, actually, blog posts for writing was titled "Wine is Scarier Than Boobs."
So I can't necessarily agree with that, but okay, tell us.
I understand, but I went through a scenario of going on that first kind of alone date when you were in high school, and, you know, I did a caveat that I'm obviously a guy and didn't feel the other side of that nervousness or whatever, but like, this is thing. So at this point, like, why are people afraid of this? You know?
Well, do you think it's actual wine, or do you think it's the people behind the wine that make you feel intimidated?
I think it's a little of both.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because even the most casual person saying, "Oh, I get notes of Bing cherry and asparagus in this glass," like, that scares the hell out of people. And sometimes with some wine notes, like if you read Spectator notes, they're talking about fruits and herbs and vegetables that no one's ever heard of. Most people have never heard of these things. So I think it's part of that, but I think also, like, especially people think of wine as fine. I think most people who are not wine people think of all wine as like fine wine. And I think that scares people off as well.
That's so far from the truth.
It's good to hear that you know your niche and your market, and you're not going out there trying to make yourself fit someplace where it doesn't. Was that hard to like in the beginning, saying, "Oh, hire me," and then you realize?
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest, like, this whole thing for me started as I was, and I'll be really blunt here and honest, like, I was finishing my master's degree, was not working full-time, the rib was, and that's great, and I finished my master's. We bought a house, like, a month after I finished my master's degree, and she's like, "Hey, what if you didn't start sending resumes real hard and fast for, like, 6 months and get our house set up?" And I'm like, "Cool." And then, like, 3 months later, she's like, "I've kind of gotten used to you, although you're working, you know, reading and writing a lot for your master's, kind of gotten used to having a house husband. What if you did something with wine?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've kind of been thinking that." So that's kind of where I started my blog, is based on that. So now I feel like I'm kind of the perfect model of 21st century husband. But I started the blog, and then I started doing video, and then people approached me before I thought, hey, this is going to be some kind of, you know, business for me. It was just kind of for fun and to see where it went, and maybe where can I fit to not go be a wine director or a som somewhere, because I worked in restaurants, I managed restaurants, and I didn't want those hours again. And it's the same if you're a som or wine director somewhere. And that's kind of where it started. And people actually started approaching me, and I'm like, wow, I've made a couple of silly videos. Now people want me to do stuff for them. And part of it's because I had the time, and I will say, a little talent for it, I believe. But, you know, it started kind of that way. So in my opinion, like, if you don't feel like I fit with your brand, or I can't do your brand, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Don't string me along in a business sense, but at the same time, if you feel like the stuff I've done before, or attaching, you know, Cork Envy Productions or Cork Envy Media to that based on what I've done, and I've done some stuff for people where I've not attached my name to it. So no one knows who shot and edited and did the whole thing because of that. And I respect that. But if that's a problem for you, I'm okay with that. Like, I know who I am. I think people who know me know who I am. So I'm all right. I can own everything I say and everything that I do and everything I've done. And if I have a problem with it, I'll apologize for it and or take anything off the interwebs. But I'm okay with that. I think it needs to fit. And that's kind of why I fit into this boutique production area, is because I'm fine with it. I don't know. I hope that answers the question.
That does. Another question. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, do you think video is a fad or it's here to stay? Like, do you think it'll evolve from here?
So, based on every marketing thing I've read, and I feel like I'm smart as far as knowing what people want, but I'm not smart as far as what's the best way to market. That I admittedly don't know. But from everything I've read and from the things that I've tried to tell people when I'm trying to get gigs, or they've approached me, which is more than me. Like, I'm not cold calling a lot of people probably until the next, I don't know, for another 6 or 8 weeks. A lot of the business I'm just saying, a lot of the business that I have has come to me or been kind of referred to me.
Anything.
But everything I read is, you know, video is driving somewhere between 65 and 80% of the internet. And I don't know, like, once again, the live video, I'm still a little leery about. I'm fine to come on Swirl Suite or do the blabs that I've been doing with Wine Antics and talk about wine things because I'm knowledgeable, and if I'm not, I'll say, hey, I don't know that answer. So I'm fine with that, and that's a avenue I never thought I would be in. But I think video is basically the key. Like, everyone watches videos. I mean, how many of us? I mean, all of us here are intelligent, educated people, but how many of us will be like, oh, look, I clicked on this link on CNN for this political story, and you watch the 60-second video instead of reading the entire article on your phone?
Definitely.
Like,
absolutely.
Video is the thing. It's more engaging. We feel like it gives more information. I think video is the future, and I think engaging people with video is the way that not only wine brands but all brands need to go.
Wow, interesting. So what is everybody drinking? Let's start with Glynis. Glynis, what you drinking? I saw that nice bottle you had on Twitter and Instagram. What you drinking?
Can you see me or you just hear me?
No, we can see you.
We can see you.
Oh, see, I texted Leslie half an hour ago to ask her if she could see me. I was like,
Girl,
We can see you, girl.
Leslie, where her phone is. Does she even have her phone?
We can see you.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
because I
Smile,
got a
boo.
phone
You on
call.
camera.
I'm sorry.
My phone went out, and I was like, well, that knocked me out. It's like, so I'll just sit here on my iPad and just listen to the whole damn thing. Hi, Stub. How you doing?
Hey, Glynis, I was wondering if you were upset with me for some reason because you hadn't asked me anything. It's like,
I was like, oh my gosh, she hates
How
me.
you gonna have me out there like that?
like I've got on Glynis's bad side here. I didn't want to say anything, but you know, I was a little worried.
Wow! Oh my God! Funny. I was like, dude. I agree with everything you said. I'm just laughing. Okay. Anyway, I'm drinking Deloche
you drinking?
rosé.
Ooh.
I was drinking because I finished it.
Yes, way rosé.
Deloche rosé, 100% Pinot Noir, JCB, one of his picks, because he does some picks, and it becomes a limited production, which I can tell why. This is like my last bottle in this particular collection, but it was delicious, and I think I need some more now that I've been on live. Looking at my daggone phone the whole time, thinking,
Oh my gosh.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, girl, catch the replay for that one. I was like, hey, what did he say? Glennis mad at us again?
No, as you can tell, technology is not one of my things. I am one that would prefer to read it. So I'm like, okay, I'm just reading stuff and not looking at videos. Oh, okay, hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm not that bad. No, I wasn't. Oh, my God. So, yes, Deloche Pinot Noir Rosé.
Gotcha.
All right.
So, talk about what you're drinking again, Pinot Noir?
So I'm drinking Franny Beck 2014 Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. Full disclosure, the owner winemaker is one of my best friends. This is his first vintage.
Ooh.
And I will tell you what I told him the day that this wine first arrived to me. It arrived by FedEx at 12:30. By 3 o'clock, I opened a bottle, even though I shouldn't have, from a cross-country travel.
All right.
And I called
Hashtag pressed. All right.
I called him in tears a little bit. Like I was happily tearful for him that this is so amazing. We actually held a tasting event here at our house about 2 weeks ago for him. So he has his 2014 what he calls the Blue Label Willamette Valley, and then he just released his single vineyard 2014 White Label. Both are for sale for $38 through his website, Franny Beck, and they are very different wines. This is a little more feminine, light, bright fruit, a little bit of earth. The White Label is a little more spicy, obviously because it's sat in barrel for longer. But great wines, and I'm not just saying that because he's a good friend, which I've told him. And yeah, very nice wines and very good quality Willamette Valley wine Pinot for the price. So there you go.
Can you spell Franny Beck for us? Franny, Franny, or IE?
Yes, Franny and Beck. And the name comes from his and his wife's mother's names. Fran and Becky.
Oh, how cute is that?
Right? That's adorable, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so NNY. Okay. I'm like NNIE? I don't know. Okay, NNY. Got it.
Right. Franny
So,
Becky.
Jason, do you have the bottle? Can you hold the bottle up?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry. Sure. Let's see. All right. Is my lighting messing that up?
Oh, that's perfect right there.
Oh, no.
Oh, there we
yeah,
go.
very good.
Oh,
Oh,
look
that's
at
perfect.
I'm a pro.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
So his single vineyard looks the same, except the label is white,
Okay.
and there's some gold underneath that tree. But yeah, just selling, especially on the East Coast, just online. Really, really nice wines. I'm very impressed, and I'm happy that I'm impressed.
Yeah. All right. Leslie?
So have you done a video for him?
Say again.
I'm sorry.
Say again, Glennis.
Have you done a video for this winery?
Yes. If you go to hisfrannybeck.com website, the videos on there I did for him actually.
Oh.
Yeah, we did 7 videos. I think the longest was like 1 minute and 12 seconds or something. But as I was saying earlier, all based on what are the words that you associate with your venture into making your own wine. So I'll also say Michael lives in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Wow.
Wait, what? Wait,
Yeah.
how is it?
Yes.
Why?
So his wife is now, as of
Question.
now, her last year of surgical residency in Spartanburg.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I will also admit, in 2013, my experience with Harvest, being a Harvest intern, was with Michael. He got his first job as the assistant winemaker and said, hey, were you serious about wanting to work in a winery? And I said, with you, absolutely. Where? And he's like, down here with me, I got a job, and they're letting me hire one person. So that harvest, we processed 105 tons of grapes, just the two of us.
Wow.
which is just under 8,000 cases of wine.
Wow.
So it was an amazing experience, and I don't think if we had not been good friends going in that we would still be friends now.
The funny thing is, on one of the blabs, you said you worked a harvest. Like, yes. I thought you volunteered for a couple of hours. You worked a harvest.
No. Like, I drove down from Alexandria to Spartanburg and lived with him and his wife.
Oh my God.
And we went to work together every day and worked, and he was in a weird spot. Like, so the harvest that year, so the winery had existed, the brand had existed, but they were doing custom crush beforehand.
Okay.
So that year in April, they decided to build their own winery. And late August, we had grapes on the crush pad. Still with guys in hard hats on the crush pad finishing the winery, building the winery. And
wow.
So the owners, Michael, none of us had any idea what was in store. And Michael, he had worked hard. He knew wine. He had, done internships and been cellar rat and this and that. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. I don't think it was the typical harvest intern experience.
Probably not.
But doing it with one of my best friends and just being two of us, I learned way more than I ever thought. And I encourage everyone, and I realize bloggers and even advanced wine aficionados, they don't have the opportunity to say, yeah, I'm taking 3 months and going to work harvest for, whatever very low dollar amount an hour to make money. I was lucky that I did, and I feel fortunate that I had the experience with one of my best good friends, because even during the tense times, because it's just two of us, he knew more about wine making because he had done it. He had been a cellar rat. He had done an internship at Costa Brown. He had, been a cellar rat for a couple of years. And so, but being good friends, we're still buddies. And at some point, I'm yeah, we're working together. I'm technically working for you, which I totally was, because he knew so much more than I did. But I think that friendship allowed us to actually stay friends after the fact.
Yeah, I'm glad that worked out.
There were some rough
What was your
days.
takeaway?
They were.
I quit. I'm
What
going to bury you under these vines. I quit.
What was my
And your
takeaway?
family's not going to find you. Yes. What was your number one takeaway? You said you learned so much. What was your biggest takeaway from that experience?
I don't actually want to be a winemaker.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. That was my biggest takeaway.
I concur. Yeah.
No, I would totally go do the work. I loved working in the winery. I
won't do that.
This is what we're doing. Actually, I'm going to say a bigger takeaway. If you work harvest in a winery, you are going to be wet from head to toe about 80% of the time.
Wow.
Okay. Have a few more questions, but all right.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right. Let's move on to what everyone else is drinking.
Yeah, let's moving on. Leslie, what you drinking?
No.
I am drinking a Maryland Classic.
Birdie.
Oh, that dry rosé. Okay, it is rosé season. Yes, way rosé.
For those who are not familiar, it is Bordy Vineyard, not Bordy or Bordy or.
Oh wait, say it again. Say it again. I don't think my accent was right. I'm working on my accent. Say it one more time.
Bordy.
No, seriously. Okay.
For those who have not had an opportunity, this is part of their Landmark series, which is their reserve wine. So a lot of people associate Bordy with their sweeter wine, which they just changed the name of the label. And actually, you don't see Bordy on their sweeter wine anymore. Yeah.
Oh, wow. What's the rosé made of?
The rosé is a blend. And so
okay.
It is a blend, and it is from their South Mountain Vineyard, which is in Hagerstown.
Wow.
So it is from there, and it's a 2014 dry rosé.
Nice.
Wow.
Right. So, Tanisha, what have you not been drinking tonight?
I have been drinking lemon and lime sparkling water from Marks and Spencer.
A little shady.
Slightly shady. I have some choice words for Sarita, but I'll message her those later. I know her phone number. I'm gonna slide in her DMs with my words. Yes, but I'm drinking sparkling water from Marks and Spencer because it's refreshing and delightful.
So, no, for real. What did you?
No, right earlier at normal awake hours, I was drinking a Bordeaux rosé.
Wait,
rosé from
say it again. Your mic again.
I want to.
No.
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 So I had a rosé from Bordeaux.
Rosé from Bordeaux. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see me. I am drinking a Chilean Cabernet. I think it's called Seagull, and they call it an Uber Cube. And so it is. Wait, I had it. I think it's like 75% Cabernet, and the rest is Syrah. And the owners of Seagull is a winemaker, a Chilean winemaker, and a distributor. So they kind of joined forces and made this wine. It's pretty good. I do not remember where I got it from or how much it costs, but I'm assuming it's under $15, knowing me. But it's very good. It's a burger and pizza wine. It does the trick. What's the alcohol percentage? I had to look at that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the alcohol percentage and like how are the tannins? Because I feel like Cab and Syrah, like
it's big. It's big and tannic. Let me
okay.
show you a little. It's pretty dark. It's pretty dark. 13.5 alcohol. Yeah, it's got some cedar in there, some spice, black cherry, that kind of thing. But it's perfect for like pizza night, burgers, fries, that kind of thing. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Burger.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool.
Wow.
All right, so I have like 5 more questions for Jason. Is
Yes,
it okay
please.
if I like jump in? Okay. So, Jason, I want to ask you. You mentioned that now, like, you kind of do videos for like other people. When you first started out doing your videos, how were you able to come up with content to be consistent? And how often did you come out with new videos?
So when I first started doing videos for my personal brand at Corkindy, I came up with this idea, weekly wine with Stub. And there was a parenthesis H after the W. So I started out doing like a Saturday Night Live type news thing. And then I would finish with tasting the wine after. Because here's what I know. Once again, as I said earlier, most people think of wine as being this super old, rich white guy thing. And I'm like, that's not who I am. Because I'm not super old. I'm not super rich. I am a white guy, but...
What did I say?
Right. I'm like, I'm not sure if he knows or not, but maybe you can tell him after the show.
I do know that I'm not
Maybe
super old or super rich.
Maybe he doesn't
Yes,
know.
I am aware of that. But like my thing was,
Oh,
most people think of wine as this stuffy thing, and so I'm like, let's do this comedy news thing, and then that transitioned after a bit to instead of doing, so I did like a news and comment, which early on the video production was bad. I stand behind all the writing and jokes, not the timing necessarily, but I stand behind the writing and jokes, and then later on. But later, the last two seasons of that I just would moan and complain about something that bothered me, like liking someone that died on Facebook. Like, oh, Aunt so-and-so died, and there's like 40 likes on there. Or, or parking lots, or like whatever. So then I would just do like a 90-second rant, and then do a 90-second, like, here's the wine that I'm drinking while I'm thinking about being pissed off this week.
My bad, I asked.
So that's how that started. And then I'm like, well, the music thing, I mean, I'm a lifelong musician, and I'm like, why not do some parody songs? So those 2 avenues are my biggest avenues. So kind of the comedy parody stuff and then the parody songs. All right, that's question one.
Okay.
You had 4 more.
Oh, and so what? And so what do you do for new content? Like, where do you go for your inspiration to think about? Okay, wait, I'm gonna parody this song next, or I want to touch this topic. Where does that come from?
So I've actually been thinking about, although the whole weekly wine with stub concept was not as, I don't know, prosperous or watched as I would hope. There were a lot of people saying, "Hey, why did you stop doing this?" I'm like, all right, maybe a few more people are watching than I thought. Although I can look at my YouTube stats and know, but I post those to Google. I post them to different platforms, so maybe there were more watching than I hoped. As far as the parody songs, I just have a list of songs that I know and like. There are a few songs, and I just have a list of songs with, some title of a song and some way to parody that title. And some will work or don't, but right now, like on my phone, I have 60 possible parody songs. I have 4 tracks in the can. I haven't finished writing the lyrics, but the musical tracks are done. And so, like, I've, a lot of my stuff's older. I mean, older music because people know it.
Right.
But I've tried to do recent stuff too. I mean, I did what are those 5 guys in England? What were they called? Those kids?
One Direction? One Direction?
I said the
Oh.
Yeah. Right.
You said the Beatles. Okay.
Glennis, no one heard
And
Beatles. And there were only
I'm
4.
slightly disturbed that I knew that and knew it quickly.
No,
So
I
just edit that part out of the video. Edit that out.
But the last parody song I did was actually a One Direction song.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, quick question. How long does it take for you to do one parody video?
Depends on the song, depends on the track, depends on the inspiration.
Oh, okay.
I will say I'm going to give a large here. If I do a parody song and then do a video to it, because I do my own tracks for copyright reasons on YouTube, I actually perform my own tracks, write my own lyrics, sing my own lyrics, do my own harmonies.
Wow.
So if I do the simplest of those is going to take me probably legitimately 40 hours of actual work time.
Wow.
The first parody song.
Yeah, it is a work week.
Now the first parody song I did on YouTube was actually not about wine. It was about the government sequester.
Oh Lord, let's not talk about that.
Well, I say that because at the time, Justin Timberlake's song was big, and I ended up doing a parody of Justin Timberlake.
Which one? Sexy Back? Which song?
No.
I'm intrigued now. What?
Now I can't remember the name of the actual song. Because I've just, every time I hear it, I sing my own lyrics.
What are your lyrics? Give me the harmony. I'll figure it out.
It can't be nothing.
I need a little more than
Oh my gosh! Now I'm killing myself here.
What was it the one where he was in the suit in the video?
Suit and tie. Thank you.
Suit and tie, yeah.
Right. I'm like, do we need to
So
Google yourself?
No.
Google yourself stuff.
so I was just doing that. I mean, I do that a lot. No, it was Suit and Tie. That was my first parody video parody song I did. And it kind of got me to think, but like my wife was home for 2 weeks, but still working because, and I'm like, and all of our neighbors were home, and I'm like, suit and tie was a big thing, and I'm like, I don't need no suit and tie. So I did that, and that video took me 120 hours of production time.
Wow.
Between tracking it, recording the vocal, and shooting and editing the video.
So
I did get interviewed by the Wall Street Journal for that, though. So
Okay. Well, there you go.
Are they 1-part harmonies? Since you do them yourself, or how do you sing 2 and 3-part harmonies by yourself?
I do several tracks over top of themselves.
Oh, wow.
Okay, barbershop quartet.
No. And I'm a perfectionist, and sometimes my wife's like, I don't hear a note out of tune there. But when I was playing in a band, she'd come and be like, "Oh, you missed that third note in the first verse in harmony." Like, what are you talking about?
Reb, you could have stayed home.
And now you're telling me this 4-part harmony that I've done on myself is perfect, and I hate it. And she's like, "Yeah, it's fine."
It's called support, stud. Support.
No,
That's what marriage is about.
don't think I
From
don't
the
know
sing-
that.
from the
Don't think I
single
don't know
person.
it.
That's what marriage
I
is
know
about.
it. I know it.
Oh,
The Megan Trainor song that I did though, the All About That Roan,
Mhm.
like as far as
No Pinot. All about that Rome. About that
no
Rome.
Pinot,
No
exactly.
Pinot.
For me personally, that was my favorite perfect vocal performance. Because those 3-part harmonies in the chorus were amazing.
Oh my gosh. Another quick question. So, what do you think your end game is? Do you think you could have like your own label, or you're gonna stick with your production company? You think you just gonna expand it, kind of thing?
I like producing videos. When people ask me what I do now, I say I'm a filmmaker.
Ah, okay. Okay.
And I say I'm a wine blogger and filmmaker, or filmmaker and wine blogger.
Okay.
I do consider myself as, I think we talked about a couple of weeks ago, Sarita, like, I do consider myself a wine expert because of my desire to know wine and my knowledge of wine.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to get a couple of things. I need to take some tests and be good at that. And that's fine. And I accept that. So some people will be like, yeah, you're not a wine expert. I don't care. Like, but I know more about wine than most people.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I'm interested in it.
right.
No other reason. So no, I consider myself a filmmaker. I like the video format. I'm a lifelong musician and love music, so I think that will always have some part of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have a couple of projects in mind from a filmmaking perspective, which this is what the wine blog brought me into, was do stuff for my personal brands. I've done some stuff for other people. I'm trying to do that to put food on the table money-wise for wine brands specifically, because that's what I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just some commercial content director that some small advertising agency is hiring because you're available and you're good. Like, my expertise is in wine.
Right.
So if I got a winery and harvest, I know the things to film or not film. Like, I'm very specific to that knowledge. It's not like I'm just a commercial director who's shooting a car commercial and someone's like, oh no, don't shoot that. Like, I know what to shoot and not shoot in a winery. And what'll work.
So, Stub, how do you price it out? I'm not asking you what you charge, but
Sure.
how do you do what your price points for your videos and your parodies are?
So the fact that my name is not on more videos is because of this. So I say this for this reason. Wineries, as I know all of you know, it's a temperamental business. Having a winery.
Absolutely.
So now I will take that. So small wineries, when they come to you and they say, hey, we would love to do some videos, what do you charge?
Right.
Like, so I ask them what they want, what their plan is, how much time, like edited video time they want. So I will say this without giving out what I charge, because that's a negotiation.
Exactly. I wouldn't expect you to say that.
But also in the kind of commercial, so I consider myself kind of a commercial directing area, even though I'm doing I'm not doing stuff for the Super Bowl, but it's kind of it's promotional content.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that falls into like corporate video production. So if you look up on the internet, and this is a very easy stat to find, for commercial video production, the cost of that is $1,000 to $3,000 average per minute of finished video.
Exactly. Unless it's the, like you said.
So,
I'm in the wrong industry.
No, you say that. You're not at all. No, you're not. But in the video world, production world, regardless of what you're doing, commercials, whatever, there's a lot of backing in to budgets.
Right.
So a lot of that is like, what do you want? So wineries will come to me and be like, look, if you want no joke, 5-minute awesome commercial for your winery, I can help you write and I will direct it, and I will hire a an Oscar or Emmy award-winning videographer to shoot it, but you're going to pay for them. So it kind of depends. I mean, it's a huge thing. I try to be a little more boutique because I want to tell the very intimate stories of the wineries. Like, it's a passion for me as well, and I also have the ability to charge a little less than other people, and be able to say, look, I have talent, abilities, I've acquired skills, wine knowledge, that I can come in and do stuff for less than a typical production company that's going to bring in 3 or 4, 5, 6, 40 people crews.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not shooting video for Jordan Winery. Now, if they ask me, I would. If they ask me, I would.
Clearly.
But they also have an ad agency of record on their portfolio. Like, they have an advertising agency working for them who hires the production company. So I'm kind of more focused on more smaller boutique brands, and I'm happy to do that because it's a passion and skill combined. Where I can get a couple extra dollars to buy some new toys every now and again.
Cool.
Gotcha.
So, Jason, has there ever been a video that you did where you got like a lot of backlash, or somebody was like really offended, or there was like some problem or something like that, like they didn't get the jokes, or
I gotta be honest,
like that with the video
I have never received that feedback. So last year at the Wine Bloggers Conference, last year's conference, I won Best Video for a wine blog on a wine blog. And that was, I think, mostly in that year based on my 50 Shades of Grey 5-minute video, where I had 2 lovely young ladies chain me up and feed me wine and
sounds terrible.
do various things to me while I was drinking the wine. But the other video at that point was my original song I talked about, Spit or Swallow, because we've all answered that question, right?
Right.
When you're tasting wine, do you spit or swallow? And this was in my head for 2 years before I wrote the song.
Oh, wow.
And I've had people ask me this, like, very specifically about women. Like, how do women react to this? And I'm like, no one has ever come to me and said, this is horrible. This is over the top. Because I think once you see the whole video, you get the tongue-in-cheek of it. And I will also
say, don't lighten up.
I will also say that, like, my 50 Shades of Grey or the Spit or Swallow, like, that's probably as far as I'm ever going to go with stuff. Like, I'm not... Well, here's the other thing. I'm a good guy. I respect women. I respect wine. I respect the thing. I love comedy, so I don't mind pushing it. I don't mind pushing a boundary, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not a porn producer. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. Like, if you're an actress and you want to put on lingerie,
give you the right amount of money
and come be in a video, that's great. But at the same time, you're going to be respected. My wife is always involved with shooting or involved with it, period, especially with those shoots. Like, it's
I'm gonna show up.
Okay, I don't mean involved in that way. I'm just saying, like, she's keeping an eye out. But
I'm looking for Jason. Where is he?
No. Yeah, I'm not shooting this when she comes home from work going, what the hell are you doing, Stone? No.
She's got chicks in bikinis just dancing around in front of a red satin curtain. Like, she's like, no, I have questions.
If she came in and saw that and I was behind a camera, she'd be like, oh, he's making a video, whatever.
She's a good sport, because I'd be ripping curtains down like, what is this?
No. She's a great sport and everything. Before I did the 50 Shades of Grey video, I'm like, I've got to order some bondage cuffs, and I built a bondage rack for that video. And I'm like, so I also need a ball gag. And she's like, that's taking it too far. And I'm like, no, but the gag is...
Shut it down, White. Shut it down,
White. And 2 women are ball gagging me. Like, that's the gig.
And that makes it better that they're gagging you.
Well, it did for that video. It made it better because
Gotcha.
I was not going to initiate those things for the 50 Shades of Grey wine brand, but having two younger women initiate those things on me it made it funny. Like to me, that was the comedy.
Yeah.
And my role in that video is I pretended I had no idea what was going on. Like this was a normal day for me. Like I was completely oblivious to that.
Let me find out that's what your life is about, that was a normal day.
No, but I'm saying that was the comedy though, is that I completely ignored the fact that these are two very attractive young women on either side of me, hitting, slapping, pouring wine for me. That was the comedy. To me, that was the comedy. I couldn't acknowledge them, and to me, that was the comedy of that.
Wow.
And even the brand itself and their PR company contacted me after that video.
Of course.
Wow.
And appreciated it. Because it didn't go over... It was funny without going over the top.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And I think most people give that as respectful. So, I don't know. I don't know what my line is. I really don't. I know it, but I also know when I had two young ladies here that I hired to come be in the video, they both went away respecting what we did and being very happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm proud of that. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful.
Right.
Makes sense.
We'll let you know. Put it on Twitter.
Well,
I'll be like, nope, that's wrong.
But none of you have, so that's the point. I have not gotten any backlash on even some of my other videos.
Oh my gosh.
You sip or swallow? That is a good question.
Oh my God. Does anybody have any other questions for Stub? We can wrap it up. No?
It's always a pleasure to talk to Stub.
Oh my gosh, Stub, thank you for joining us today.
No,
Please
thank you.
tell everybody where they can find you, where they can follow you.
CorkInvy.com, at CorkInvy on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I am in the process right now of recording some test episodes of a new web series I'm doing called Vino and Vinyl. So I have a Vino and Vinyl Twitter and Facebook page right now, and Instagram. So I'm recording a couple of test episodes, and the whole concept is basically I sit down with a winemaker, a wine aficionado, maybe a musician. We pick out a record, we put the record on, we open a bottle of wine. Maybe we open a second bottle of wine if we flip the record over. But the whole concept is music and wine are both meant to be enjoyed. And I love the idea with the vinyl records especially, you sit down with them and you enjoy the entire work at one time.
That's awesome.
So I love that. So I'm doing that right now. I know 3 of the 4 of you are close to me. Setting up my studio upstairs. You're all welcome to come do an episode with me.
What? You ain't said nothing.
That's
you
what I
ain't
was getting ready
said
to
nothing.
ask you. I was getting ready to ask you. So, and that was actually leading the price question. So, if the Swirl Suite wanted something, are you open to doing something with us?
Absolutely.
All right.
Of course I am.
And are you coming to Wine Bloggers this year?
I am 95% sure. Yes, I am.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Because the Swirl Suite is trying to. Well, we will be doing a tasting, so hopefully you will come and.
Yeah, and so part of me says, maybe I'd skip that schedule-wise, but I actually have a couple things that before, after that people want me to help them do. So.
Oh, excellent.
And it's a great family reunion. Like
that's exactly how Glennis described it.
It's hard for me to say I'm too busy. Like I love this. You get big hugs, big kisses from everybody.
Yeah.
And you drink a bunch of great wine, and
exactly.
I think this year is going to be bigger, obviously bigger than last year because it's West Coast.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's a great time. It's just you're meeting up with friends who share a common interest.
Exactly.
So at some point, it's like, you know what? Take 4 days and go do a vacation with people you love hanging out with, and taste some wines.
Yeah.
It's a fun time.
That's exactly how I feel. I block it off. As a matter of fact, the one of the organizers for the SWE, Society of Wine Educators, I said, why is your conference always the same?
Right.
Bloggers conference. I asked them that in email.
Because they don't want us to win.
You know what they said? They said wine blog. Brett, I think is his name. I have to look it up. He said that the Wine Bloggers Conference moved their date. They used to be in July, and the SWE always was in August.
So Wine Bloggers moves according to harvest in the area that they're attending that year.
Yeah, they do,
Right.
which makes sense.
No, I saw this year. I'm like, oh my gosh, the SWE is in DC.
It's going to be right here, exactly.
I could
my
take
God.
a metro and get a discounted rate at the Marriott and still stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning hanging out with friends. Awesome! I don't even have to Uber home. I just stay.
Let me
at the
get a
room
cot.
for
Let me get a cot in your
$112.
room.
It was like awesome. But then I'm like, oh, no, I can't do it. I'm gonna be on the West Coast.
For your girl.
Exactly.
Wow.
When we go off air, I'll tell you where SWE is next year because I made them tell me.
Oh.
So hopefully it's not the same weekend as Wine Bloggers, so we can all get there as well.
As anything else. Okay.
On that note, guys, we will sign off. And our next hangout is going to be on the 15th, and we're going to be talking rosés. So on the 15th, it's a Sunday. We're going to do it at noon. Everybody's going to be awake.
Yes! I am done.
Guys, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to follow us on Swirl Suite on Twitter and YouTube. Cheers.
Great. Cheers.
Thank you, everyone.
Once advised me to give Burgundy a taste. I said I like a little more tannin inside my face. And no, I don't want no cold weather Pinot Noir wine today. So if that's what you're pouring, just bring me an IPA. Because you know I'm all about that rum, no Pinot. I'm all about that